Okay. So first of all, I'll just give a brief about our company. So we are CyberSapiens. So we are cybersecurity experts. Okay. So what we'll be doing in the sense, we'll be securing our digital worlds, that might be our mobile application or whatever cybersecurity, cyber frauds and all will be there, right? So for that, we'll be like a cyber defense over there. Okay. So I'll be saying some of the services, business services that we provide. Okay. So we provide ISO 27001 certification. Okay. And also we do VAPT. So VAPT will be doing network VAPT as well as web application VAPT, mobile application VAPT and API VAPT. Okay, and also we do this cloud pen testing and cloud VAPT over there. And also we have other services like infrastructure VAPT or IoT security testing, and also we'll be doing the thick and thin client penetration testing. So and also we have a SOC team in us. Okay, so we'll be doing SOC analysis and also the malware analysis. And also we have GRC. Okay, so that is your governance, risk management, and compliance. Okay. And coming to phishing and malware simulation, so we have built our own tool. So that is called as PhishCare. Okay, so what this tool will be doing? So this tool basically does the phishing attacks. Okay, so in a controlled manner. Okay, so whoever the employees, it might be okay in a company. Usually, employees will click certain links from which they'll get phished, and reputation damage, or the company might lose certain sensitive data over there. Okay. So for that purpose, we have to train the employees. So we have introduced this PhishCare product over here. Okay. And also we have this cybersecurity training and employee awareness program as well, where we train employees on this cyber defense, how what to do, what are don'ts. Those things will be training over there. And if you want to know more, you can scan this page and visit our website. Like you'll be getting to know what kind of services we provide and stuff. Okay. So moving on with today's masterclass, so that is your mobile penetration testing. Okay, so we'll be seeing on certain tools, techniques, and some of the best practices. Okay, so in today's webinar, we'll be going through the basic concepts. So first, let me introduce myself. So my name is Kuldeep, and I am a cybersecurity analyst, and I have completed certifications like CES, CMPN, and also CAP. Okay, and I do this red teaming as well as VAPT. And I also train and do I also do the training part, and also being as a mentor, I have trained more than 500 plus trainees as of now. Okay, and I also do this security consulting, so where we will be providing a consulting whenever any of the client consult for certain securities, so I'll be doing the security consultants as well. And also I have been hunting, doing bug hunting. Okay, so I have reported several books, and I've got the bounties as well, and also Hall of Fames. Okay. So coming to today's agenda. Okay. So we'll just go a brief about the agenda. So first we'll see what are theoretical overviews of today's mobile pen testing. Okay. And we'll see what are types of penetration testing and some of the toolkits that we'll be using for mobile application pen testing, and how planning a mobile app VAPT, like what should you do and what are the don'ts. Those things we'll be seeing as well. And I'll be showing certain practical demonstration by demonstrating certain demo over there on this mobile penetration testing. Okay. And at the end, we'll see how, if you found any of the vulnerabilities, how you can report that vulnerabilities, and how you can suggest certain remediation for the clients as well. So coming to the theoretical overview, so what is mobile application pen testing? So it is nothing but whenever there will be mobile applications, right? So that mobile applications usually will have certain vulnerability if you don't test that particular web app and mobile application. Okay, so what in this mobile application pen testing we'll be doing, in sense we will be testing for those vulnerabilities, and if we found any kind of vulnerabilities, or it might be a sensitive data exposure. Okay, so we will be reporting those kind of vulnerabilities to the client, or it might be if you are doing this mobile VAPT mobile penetration testing in the bug bounty platforms, then you can directly report it to them over there. And some of the scope includes like you will be needing a mobile applications, okay, and also you'll be it might be if it is an Android, it might be a APK, okay, and if it is a iOS, it might be a IPS, okay, and also device level security is also needed. So based on, as you can see, in as compared to Android, iOS more secure, right? So that security also we have to look after. Like you can't directly download any application in iOS, whereas in your Android app, I mean in your Android, you can directly download any of the applications. Okay, and also we have to look after how the API and backend communication works in the application, how the calls goes, and what kind of responses we are getting from the server. Okay, so these things we have to look after. And why this mobile application pen testing is necessary? Okay, so what it will do, it will increase the mobile, since in day-to-day lives we are using many more apps, like for just for music only we have 2 3 apps, or Google Pay we use, Phone Pay we use, many payment apps are also there. Okay, so whenever there are certain apps where we give our sensitive data, we must make sure that that particular application does not what to say, release any kind of sensitive data which can be taken by the attackers and stuff. Okay, so that if that is done, then attackers can steal your data and steal your credentials also. Okay, and also whenever application is built, okay, Android application is built, okay, so they have to make sure that they are following certain security standards. Okay, so it might be OWASP, or it might be GMSVS, okay, or it might be GDPR. Okay, so there are many security standards as well. Coming to some of the unique challenges and Android in the Android and iOS security. So first is platform fragmentation. Okay, so it is nothing but, so in the Android, so we all know there are many brands, right? So there is Redmi is there, or it might be Poco. So different bad brands have their own OS, like they have like Hyper OS thing, and some other brand might have some other interfaces. Okay, so these also varies from Android to Android. So these are certain challenges that you'll be usually face when you download, or when you try testing for a Android or iOS pen testing. Okay, so coming to iOS, okay, so iOS usually will have only single OS, but the version will differ usually. Okay, so if you are using any older version iOS or iPhone, it might be, okay. So in that, some of the application might not run, even if it will run. Some there might be certain vulnerabilities in those as well. So that also will be coming into consideration. And there are some applications that will be only running on the latest version of iOS. Okay, so in that case, you have to first do the jailbreaking thing. So the current iOS, usually you won't find the jailbreaking thing that easily. Okay, so you have to do a lot of research. Okay, so that is also one of the challenges that we'll face. Okay, coming to OS level difference. Okay, so OS level difference in the sense, Android allowing slide loading. Okay, and iOS uses App Store. So basically, what it means in that sense, so in the iOS, you can download any of the not in the iOS, you can just download the applications that are there in the App Store, right? So you can't download it from any of the other browsers and stuff. So if you want to download, you either have to do the jailbreaking thing over there. Okay, so as compared to Android, you can download it from any of the third-party third-party providers, where you will be able to install the things as well. Okay, so these are certain OS differences over here. Coming to app security and ecosystem risk. Okay, so whenever a web application is built, right, so they will be using certain libraries, or they will be import certain libraries while building the application. Okay, so we have to make sure that whoever the developer will be there, right, so they have to make sure that those libraries do not have certain vulnerabilities, like CVEs and all will be there, right? So that must not be there over there. So if it is there, it can be easily exploited. Okay, and also app stores policy don't carry your full protection. So you might think that if you download a web application, okay, from your Play Store, or it might be in App Store, okay, so it also will contain certain malwares as well. Okay, so in Play Store, you can if you download like things like which will boost your FPS and stuff. You might have seen like those kind of applications. Okay, so those are like a malware kind of application. So if you download those applications, so in the back end it will be acting as a keylogger or whatever the messages you'll be getting. Okay, so that will be read by that particular application over there. Okay. So coming to the data storage and communication. Okay, so whenever you download an application, so you might have seen it will ask for the permissions like allow photos or allow the application to store data in this path. Okay, so whenever you agree to those things, you are giving permission for that particular application so that it can do any kind of modification that is needed for it. Okay, so and also in some cases when you log into application, so think that there is a login functionality in one of application. Okay, so you are logging into that application, so there will be certain SQLite database or shared preferences. Okay, so where the data will be stored, so that also have to be encrypted. Okay, so if that is not encrypted, so this will be a vulnerability over there as well. Okay, coming to weak and missing encryption on API and network calls. Okay, so sometimes encryption is there, right? So when you do certain requests in the mobile application, so what it will do, whatever the data is transmitted from your end to the server, so it has to be encrypted and decrypted in the server end. Okay, so if that process is weak, it is like the encryption key is guessable and stuff. Okay, if that is the case, then this vulnerability will occur over here. Okay, coming to risk of sensitive data leak over HTTP. So think that you have built an application, but it is communicating through this HTTP protocol. Okay, so if you are connected to any of the public Wi-Fi and you are trying to log into that any of your account. Okay, so whatever data has been transmitted will not be encrypted over there. Okay, so it will be moving as a clear text. Okay, so in that case, an attacker might sniff your password or whatever things you'll be doing, right? So that might be sniffed by the attacker, and he can use it for his own purpose over there. Okay, so that is the reason you have to implement a proper like HTTPS protocol over there. Okay, so coming to types of mobile penetration testing, so we have Android and iOS pen testing. Okay, so in application security testing, so first we need to identify the vulnerabilities in the APKs, or if it is an iOS, it will be IPS, and if it is a Android, it is a APK. Okay, so first what we'll be doing in the sense, we will be doing static analysis. Okay, so we'll be viewing the source code, or we'll be decrypting the source code over there and reading the source code, like how the application is built and what kind of functionalities are there, or what kind of activities are running in the backend. Okay, so those will be done in the static analysis. Okay, and also there is dynamic analysis where we'll be checking for the issues like insecure permission, whether admin permission is given to the smaller user, that is normal user as well. Okay, so these things will be checking over there as well. Coming to your device and security testing, so secure storage uses and also app permission and protecting against root. So if you do any of the jailbreaking stuff in the iOS, okay, and you have installed certain application in your iOS, or in the Android thing, you can do the root part. Okay, so if you root any of the devices, it means that you will be the normal user, the root user can do anything in that particular application as of now. Okay, so make sure that you don't root the phone. If you root the phone also, there are like certain bypass method that you can use as well. Okay, coming to your network security testing, so analyzing the API endpoints. So whenever you do certain requests, right, from a web application, so think there is a login panel and you have entered your credentials. Okay, so, and you have clicked on submit. Now if you capture that request in burp suite, okay, so that time you will be seeing certain endpoints, what kind of requests are made, whether the whatever communication the application is doing, whether it is secure or not. Okay, so all these things will be doing in the network security testing. Okay, by intercepting the traffic. And coming to your backend API security testing, we'll be checking whether the server has like issues in the authentication page or authorization. While doing any kind of authentication and authorization process, we are checking that whether it has certain logical bugs or not. Okay, and checking for insecure data storage. So sometimes whatever data you'll be entering, right? So that will be stored in your local device. So even if it is stored in your local device, it has to be made sure that it is encrypted and stored. Okay. So if it is not done, so it can be exploited as well. Okay. So we'll see that in the demonstration part as well. So coming to a pen testers toolkit for mobile app pen testing. Okay. So first for dynamic analysis, we have tools like JADAX and API tool we have, APK tool we have, and we have MobSF. Okay. So these are some of the tools that we'll be using for inspecting the source code of the page, or it might be your manifest file. Okay. So just for the analyzing your code, we'll be using certain tools. Okay. And while doing the dynamic analysis, so we have tools like Frida and objection we have. Okay, so we have dozer as well. So these are the tools like if you want to bypass certain panels and all, we'll be, or if you want to do hook functionality and all, we'll be using such tools. Okay, that is your Frida, objection, and dozer. So coming to your network tools, mainly we'll be using burp suite. Okay, and what it will do, it will just capture the request, whatever request that you'll be making, right? So by using burp suite, it will be just capturing the request and checking what kind of request has been made from the client, and what headers they have added. Okay, and what kind of SSL or TLS certificate they have implemented or not, whether the data is in clear text. Okay, those things we'll be seeing in the network testing tools. Okay. And emulator, we have two emulators over here. Okay, so mainly we can either you'll be needing the uh, actual phone in order to test a Android application, or you can use emulators. Okay, so if you want to test for iOS, usually iOS won't have certain emulators. So there are emulators, but it is a paid emulator. You have to pay in order to use that emulators, or you'll be needing a physical device. Okay, so if you have a physical device, then you can test for the vulnerabilities, or the test for the application. Okay, so first you need to jailbreak that particular iOS. Coming to planning a mobile VAPT. So what all things you have to keep it in mind. Okay, so in the scope of test, make sure that you will be doing first what you'll be doing, like first you'll be doing the reconnaissance part, where you will be checking for the what kind of data has been sent, and what kind, just as normal review we will be doing, where you'll be doing the static analysis just by reading the source code. Okay, alongside that you'll be doing dynamic analysis as well. Okay, so what kind of request has been sent, so that will be done in the network analysis. Okay, and coming to the define object, so it might be like if you want to like functionality will be differing from application to application. Okay, so some of the application might have authentication functionality, or some of the application might have just like a static application where it will be just playing videos. Okay, so depending on the application, the objective will also be changing. And identifying key risk is like app features, what kind of features or all the app has. Okay, so those we'll be seeing in this identifying the key features. Okay, coming to ethical and legal consideration, so we have to make sure that whenever we test certain things, if that thing is not listed in the scope of your client. Okay, so whenever you take a project, you'll be getting a scope from a client, like this has to be tested, this has to be tested. Okay, so if you go beyond that, so that will be like illegal thing. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are taking this legally. Okay, and ensure that you are following all the compliance with the law. Okay, and privacy regulations as well, so that you are not tampering with anyone's privacy things and stuff. Okay, and also avoid actions like, I think that there is a live application, so you have, while testing, you have by mistakenly send like a DOS attack you are doing over there by mistakenly. Okay, so in that case the server will be getting down over there. So that is when you have to avoid such things, like you should not send more requests. If you are trying to send more requests to the application, you have to make sure that it is in scope. Okay. So coming to the practical demonstration, so first we will be seeing the reconnaissance. So how we will be doing the reconnaissance, and also the static analysis. For static analysis part, we will be using tools like JADAX to extract the metadata and decompile the application. Okay. For analyzing the APK, we'll be using MobSF for the permission check and code structure, whether the code has been properly structured or not. And we'll be checking for some of the vulnerabilities and misconfigurations. Okay. So in dynamic analysis, okay, so we'll be seeing how to hook mobile applications functionality by using Frida, okay, and also we'll be seeing by using objection also, okay, and a live demonstration I'll be showing. So that is bypassing SSL pinning into uh, inspecting the encrypted traffic, okay. So whenever if the client have implemented certain encryption method, okay, or the SSL pinning is there, okay, so you have to try to disable that particular SSL pinning. Okay, so if you disable that SSL pinning, then you will be able to see or capture the request that is made from the client to the server. Okay, and we'll understand the runtime behavior of the functionality, and by intercepting certain functionalities features, we'll be seeing what kind of requests have been made. Okay, after once that is done, we'll be going to the networking part. Okay, so along with that, we'll be capturing the request and analyzing the request, how to capture the request in burp and stuff. Okay, and also we will be seeing the response, what kind of response you are getting from the server. Okay, and identifying whether the API calls that the application is doing, right, whether it is encrypted or not. Okay, so whether it is secure or not. Okay, so one by one we'll see right now. So let me just bring my application right now. So I have a application called as Androgot over here. Okay, so it is a test application that we'll be testing right now. So first thing we have is this network interception. Okay, so we have to make sure that we can intercept the network, whatever request has been made by the server. Okay, so first what we'll do, we'll try doing a normal interception. So since it is in HTTP protocol, whatever intercept that we'll be making, right, that will be possible. Okay, so we'll just check that. Okay, as you can see, it is possible since it is in HTTP protocol. Whatever the request has been made, we are able to see right now. Okay, and if you want to check the response, you can check it here itself, or you can send it to repeater and check as well. Okay, so this kind of response we are getting from the server right now. Okay, so let me just click on forward. Okay, so in order to capture the request from this HTTP, okay, so we have to do the SSL pinning, right? Okay, so to do the SSL pinning, we'll be using Frida server. Okay, so I'll just connect to ADB shell. Okay, so I'm in my mission right now. That is our Android application. I mean Android mobile. So now I'll just go to data. I'll just do ls over here. So there is this local, and so local, I'll just go to temp file. Okay, so you have to install it manually. Okay, you won't be finding in at the beginning, you have to install manually. Okay, so I have a Frida server here. I'll just run the Frida server now. Okay, okay, so it is saying, yeah, I have run the Frida server right now. Okay, so once the Frida server is up and running, so what you'll do, you'll be using a tool called as objection. Okay, so I've said, right, in order to do the SSL bypassing, you'll be using a tool that is called as objection. So for that, you will be needing the Frida server. That is the reason I want the Frida server right now. Okay, so I'll be giving command right now, objection. Gadget. Okay, so in order to get the activity, so what kind of activity it is running, so we have to make sure that we are reading the source code as well. So in order to read the source code, we'll be using a tool called as ZX right now. Okay, so everything has to be working parallelly. Okay, so I'll just on the tool. Okay, let's open that particular file. So that is Android. So what it will just extract the metadata of the Android application. Okay, so as you can see, it has extracted right now. So I just click on source over here. So this is the main file that we'll be getting the information, like what kind of activities are going on and stuff. Okay. So we have to specifically find that particular activity. So if you just go down over here, this is root detection. This is not needed. And so there is activity called as access control issue is there. Okay. And there is one more activity called as access control. One view access control view is there. Okay. So these two activities we are able to see right now, right? So this is the activity. So whenever the application triggers, right? Yeah, yeah. Whenever we will be requesting for these things, we'll be needing certain activities over here. Okay. So I'll just copy the name as of now. So till here I'll copy and go back to my tool. Here I'll be pasting the thing and I'll be giving explore right now. Okay. After that is done, -s, and I'll be giving like Android SSL pinning. Okay. And I want to disable that thing right now. Okay. So let me just hit enter. Okay. The disabling thing has started. Okay, it is saying that the command has been started right now. Yeah. The registering job has been done as of now. Okay. So if you are just able to disable the SSL pinning on your own by using tools like objection and reader, okay, then you can report this as well. Okay. So since I've disabled right now, let me just try capturing the HTTPS request. Okay. So this is my machine right now. So let me just make it parallel. Yeah. So if I on the interceptor and go back to network intercepting and give HTTP, tap to capture. Okay, as you can see over here. So sometimes it might take time. Okay, you just have to wait for a few seconds. So as you can see, it is capturing the request, whatever we'll be doing, right? So we'll just forward this request as of now, and we'll just try capturing this certificate request as well, certificate pinning. So if you are able to do this, it means that the SSL pinning is done. Yeah, as you can see over here, we can do the same request. You are able to read the request, right? So it is not like you can't capture the request now. Before you are not able to capturing things now, but whereas now you are able to capture the request. Okay. So this is how we will be doing the SSL pinning method. Okay. So let's go back. So here we have a functionality where we need to give certain pin in order to log in. It is in. So as of now, we don't know the pin, right? So I'll just give a random pin. I just click on verify. It is saying incorrect pin entered. Okay. So let me try with 4-digit. Okay, it's saying the same thing. So there are two methods that you can try. Okay, so first method is you can capture this request since the SSL pinning is done. Okay, since the SSL pinning is disabled right now, so you can capture this request in burp suite and do the brute forcing over there. Okay, so if it is a 4-digit, you can check for the 4-digit brute forcing just by giving that particular request to the intruder tab. Okay, or you can do the method which I'll show right now. Okay. So this is the application. Okay, backend you'll be seeing, right? So this is the backend that is running. Okay. So here we got this activity. So this is this access control issue activity. So the name usually sometimes will be as it is. Okay, as you can see over here. There will be names like SQL injection, they'll be having separate names. As of for this particular application, I'm saying, if the application is changed, they will be having certain other names as well, depending on the functionality list. Okay. So if there is a login functionality above, you might get the login field above itself. Since it is in the network, I mean the second lab. So we got this access control issue activity right now. Okay. So this is the thing that will be popping up whenever we access that particular lab. Okay. So this is the thing. So when this thing triggers, right, or this activity triggers, so this page will be popping up around. Okay. So once you give the OTP or the PIN, and if you click on verify, so there is this second activity that you can see over here. Okay, so this will be triggered that time. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll try triggering this activity and check. Okay, so we'll just go back to our command prompt. So I'll be giving adb shell, and I'll be giving it as am. Okay, and I'll just start and -n. So after giving -n, I'll be giving the activity list over here. Okay, which I've copied right now. So before giving the activity, you have to make sure that this is the activity. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are giving a slash over here. Okay, so once that is done, you'll be hitting enter right now. So let me just do parallelly. Okay, that is, once that is done, you'll be hitting enter. As you can see, it directly popped up with the, without giving any pin, it is directly taking us to the invoice, download invoice field. Okay, so this is also vulnerability where you will be able to trigger the application without even touching the functionality buttons over there. Okay, or if they have certain login panels, sometimes that also can be bypassed as well. Okay, so that is for this application. So I have one more application which I can show for the demonstration process. So just give me a sec over here. Okay, I've not installed it yet. So in secure shop, I'll just drag and drop it over here. Yeah, it is installed right now. So it is asking for permissions for photos, medias, and files on your device. So I'll just click on allow. Okay, now the application has the permission right now. So, but as you can see, there is no registration panel over here. Okay, there is directly this login panel. So you can do the source code reviewing over here again. Okay, so let's go back to my JDAX. So this time I'll be using this insecure shop to read. Okay. So in this shop, insecure shop, so we'll be finding the Android manifest file right now. So what it will say in the sense, whatever the application has, right? So there is like login feature at the beginning itself. So we'll just check for that. Okay. Or let me just expand this res. Okay, not there over here. Source code. Okay, there is this com insecure shop. Yeah, this is the thing. Okay, so in this insecure shop, you'll be getting what all activities are done, right? So whatever activities the application will do, those activities will be listed over here. So activities are nothing but whenever action takes place in application. So it might be just clicking a button over there. Okay, so that is also an activity. Okay, so here we want to check for the login activity. So if you just click on login activity, it will say like a login activity. I just want to check where it is storing the data. Okay, here you can see. So whatever the username and password the user enters, right? So it will be verified, auth, it will be verified in a util thing. So I have to go for the util part. Okay, yeah, util. Yeah, it is over here as well. Okay, you can go here, or you can double click in the login panel itself. Okay, so if you want this util thing, you can just double click on util. So it will redirect you to the util tab over here. As you can see in the util tab, here they have kept the credentials as it is. Okay, so they have given the username, they have given the password. Okay, so this also you can report, like they have hard coded the credential in the source code itself. Okay, and this can also be reported. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll try to use this username and password right now. I'll just copy this username and password as well. Okay, so just click on login right now. Yeah, as you can see, we are able to successfully log into the web application right now. So this is like a small shopping web application, and add items, and we have cart section over here. Okay, whatever you'll be adding, that will be coming over here, and there is more info. Okay, as you can see, while clicking on more info, there is this web view. Okay, so web view is nothing but in the mobile application itself. So they will be integrating a web-like structure over there, like your browser is there, right? So instead of taking you to the browser, in the application itself, they will be implementing this web view part. Okay, so where you'll be getting the it will be like a Google search itself, but inside its own web application. Okay, so sometimes this also will be vulnerable, so that we'll check later on. So now what we'll do, we'll just check whether whatever the credential we are entering, right? So whether that credentials are stored in the logs or not. Okay, so in order to do that, let's go back to my machine. Okay, let this run right now, Feda server. Okay, so I'll just give it as adb shell. Okay, so I'm successfully inside my Android app, Android mobile. Okay, so if I do logcat, so there is a thing called as logcat. Okay, so what it will do, it will just capture all the logs. So whatever the in the web application takes place, right, whatever the activities, so all the logs will be taken by this logcat over here. Everything will be stored over here. So we are checking whether the credentials that we are entering, whether it is storing in the log files or not. Okay, even if it's storing, it has to be encrypted. So if it is not encrypted, that also you can report. So we'll check that right now. So let me just run this logcat. Okay, so let me just give the username password. Okay, okay, I just click on login. Okay, as you can see, it is taking some logs. So if I zoom it over here, as you can see, so whatever username and password that we have given right in the application, so that is not encrypted over here. As you can see over here, it is directly storing in the log files as it is without any encryption and stuff. Okay, so this also can be reported. Okay, this is also a vulnerability. Okay, so there is one more method that you can check. So I'll just stop this thing. So I'll just do cd data and do data again. If I do ls, so you have to find your application over here. Okay, so ours is in secure shop. I got it right here. So I'll just go to that particular directory. Okay, if I do ls, so there are files like shared preferences. So let me just make it clear. Okay, now it's clear. Okay, so there are like this web view, something app.webview is there. Okay, and there is this shared preferences. So usually whenever you give certain data, right, or whenever the session is active or the user is authenticated, so whatever the data is stored, that will be stored in this shared preferences. Okay, so if I just do cd shared preferences, and if I do ls-la again, so there are two files over here. Okay, mainly. So what I do, I'll just read this file as of now. If I do just cat and hit enter, so here whatever the password will be there, right, that will be shown over here. Okay, so this also can be reported. Okay, so whatever password that you will be giving, so that has to be encrypted. So if it is not encrypted and it is storing in your local device itself, so it will be a vulnerability, so that also can be reported. Okay, so you can see the password over here, and also you'll be able to see the username over here. Okay, so this is also one kind of vulnerability over here. So just give me a sec. So we'll move on with the web view right now. Okay, just give me a sec. Okay. So what we'll do, I'll just try the locket again and check what kind of web request it is making. Okay. Let me just enter this. Okay. So here you can see it is making a request over here, right? It is an activity right now. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this thing and go back. Okay. So let me just stop this thing. So I'll be giving the same method right now. am start -n and you'll be giving the activity. So activity I've just copied right now. Okay, so this is the activity that was running for the web view part. Okay, now what we are checking in sense, we are checking whether we can display any other datas in that web view, like any other web application. Okay, so in order to do that, I'll just give space -d and I'll be giving one domain name, http evil.com, and hit enter. Okay, so web application is loading, but if we are not sure that whether it will be taking us to the evil.com or not. It might take time. Okay. Okay, so I'll just explain what will happen. So if the application takes you to the domain that you are mentioning over here, okay. So since the pop-up has been come right now, since I've called for this particular activity, and after giving -d, we'll be giving the vulnerable app, or it might be the attacker's website. Okay, so here I just given evil.com. So when this web view loads, right, so it will be taking you to the application that you'll be mentioning over here instead of taking you to the actual information that has to be shown. Okay, so if that is the case, that is also vulnerability. Okay, so it also can be reported. So this is a small demonstration that I wanted to show. Okay, so let's move on with the PPT again. Okay, so moving on with the reporting and remediation part. Okay, so if you find a vulnerability, it has to be like, when while doing a report, it has to be like clearly documented. What is the finding? What is the severity level? And what are the steps that you have taken? Okay, and also you have to include the screenshot if it is there, or if you have done a video POC, you have to include that POC in the report as well. Okay, and also you have to keep it in mind that you have to give the risk and impact as well. Okay, so sometimes the while doing the report, you might forget to give this risk over there. Okay, this is also important. So if you give the risk and important, the uh, client, whoever will be working, right, so they will know like what is the risk of this vulnerability, and they'll just take it as a priority over there. Okay. And priority issue with the actionable remediation steps also. Okay, so you also have to also mention the remediations as well. Okay, what kind of remediations can be given for that particular vulnerability. Okay, that also has to be mentioned from your end. And while developing a web application, developing an Android application, you have to make sure that you are following the secure coding. I mean, you have to coding the application securely. Okay, so like implementing the or implementing a sanitization or validating whatever the user input is given. Okay, and using a secure authentication or session management things. Okay, so sometimes if this is not implemented properly, there are chances that you can do SQL injection attack and bypass the authentication page as well. Okay, and also make sure that the passwords, or it might be your usernames, are not encoded in the source code. Okay, so that also has to be avoided over there. Okay. So continuous security update. So sometimes what it will happen in this sense. So if the patches has not been released day to day, like for monthly ones, or if they have implemented a new thing in the application, okay, so they have to update that, and they have to keep on updating the things over there. So if it is not updated properly, there are chances that the framework that they are using, right, so that particular framework might be vulnerable, or it might have certain CVs over there. Okay, so if that is there, then those CVs can be exploited, and the application will be vulnerable over there. And regular patch of vulnerability. So think that you found a vulnerability while just doing a testing over there. To make sure that you will be patching that vulnerability as soon as it is possible, and checking whether you can bypass that the fixed thing is there, right? So whatever you have fixed, so you have to also check that whether you can bypass that filters or not. Okay. And also you can integrate secure that is SDLC. Okay, so also coming, it will be coming under DevSecOps. Okay, so where you'll be in from the beginning stage only, you'll be giving the security measures over there. Okay, so coming to the traditional method, how it will be working, in a sense, you will be developing an application first, and at the end, or almost at the end, you will be given for the testing part. Okay, whereas if you implement this DevSecOps, right, so you'll be from the beginning stage, from the importing packages or choosing the environment, everything will be have to be monitored over there, so that the everything is secure. Okay, so that is the reason we'll be the developer has to be following this DevSecOps approach. Okay, so yeah, so coming to the queries part. Okay, so this is the Q&A part. So if you have certain queries regarding the webinar or the practical demonstration I have done, you can ask certain queries in the chat box. Okay.
So Kuldeep, you can take 2 minutes break, have some water. Okay, till then
Okay.
I'll ask everyone who has joined to ask the question. So guys, we'll give Kuldeep 2 minutes of time to recollect himself, get energized. Okay, I think you guys are also kind of low on energy. Okay, after this masterclass. Okay, so we are now at the Q&A part. Okay, so what I'll do, you can see that Q&A section alongside the chat icon. Okay, just go there, post if you have any queries or questions regarding the mobile app penetration testing. Okay, ask that, post your questions there. We will wait for a few minutes. If there are no questions, then yeah, we can proceed ahead and finish this masterclass. Okay. So yes, guys, please post your questions there. You can directly ask in the chat also, or in the Q&A section also. So Mahi has asked, like, can we get the PPT? You won't get the PPT exactly, but we will be sharing the recording of this masterclass that will be posted on YouTube, and it will be shared directly in the group that you're part of. Okay, so that will be done. Guys, if you have any questions, do post that in the Q&A section. Also, can we get some reference links that will helps us to learn mobile penetration testing? See, definitely, what you can do, we have a community of over 800 to 1,000 people. Okay, so that's an open community. We will be sharing WhatsApp link to join in that group once we are done with this masterclass. We'll share that today. So you guys, because you have joined our webinar, you are also open to joining that community as well. That community is strictly for cybersecurity professionals throughout the world. Okay, we have over one close to 850 plus users joining, and new people are joining every day. How smally, okay. Can we get the video of this session? Abhilash, I already mentioned there will be the recording will be uploaded on YouTube within few days after this masterclass. Probably by next week, Wednesday or Tuesday, the video will be uploaded and you can get the recording. Okay. So not to worry about that. Where was I? I was talking about our Hackers Club WhatsApp group that we have, the community of hackers, okay, and ethical hackers, cybersecurity professionals, people who are interested in pursuing their career in cybersecurity, starting their career in cybersecurity. We have a community for you guys on WhatsApp. So if you want to join, just be in this masterclass. We will be sharing the WhatsApp link, group link to join. So yeah, just be bear with us. Ganesh, how smally is important in Android penetration testing? I think this question is for Kuldeep, so we'll wait for him to get back. Guys, till then, please ask questions. I can't see more questions coming up. Do you provide any internship? Yes, we do provide internship. If you are interested in doing internship at CyberSapiens, okay, you what you can do, you can mail us with your documents and all. What are you interested in? All at sales@cybersapiens.com. Drop the mail. Okay, you can copy it, keep it saved somewhere, and mail us that you are interested in doing internship with CyberSapiens. And if you are qualified for that, because see, we do not provide internship to everybody. Okay, there's a criteria for internships as well. Okay, until unless we see that you have a potential, you have that yield to work, right, and work on the projects that we assign to you, it doesn't make sense to hire a person, right, and provide internship to them. So if you are that person who has that burning fire inside you that you will be working on the projects diligently, then yes, just mail us there. Then you have separate course for mobile penetration testing. We have one major course for penetration testing. It's not a separate course. So the name of that training program is Cyber Fusion. Okay. So it's an all-encompassing cybersecurity course in which you have the option to choose your own specialization. So if you are interested in like mobile application penetration testing, web VAPT or Android VAPT, if you are interested in that, you can choose that specialization. If you are interested in SOC, you can choose that specialization under our course. It's not like we will be giving a rigid syllabus and you have to follow that. Okay. How and where can we get those vulnerable mobile apps for pen testing? Again, a question for Kuldeep. Sir, can you explain drawable folder? Question for Kuldeep. Kuldeep, I think it's time for you to get back. Quite a good number of technical questions are coming in, and I can't handle that. Okay,
Yeah.
so I request you to, yeah, please take over.
So yeah, about the drawable folders. Okay, so what it will do in the sense that particular folder will contains the image files or the backend links. Okay, so XML data is there, right? Or the XML sheets that you'll be using in the application. Okay, Android application. So in that particular drawable folders, it will be stored over there. Okay, so that is for the drawable folders. And just give me a sec. Coming for Okay, if you want to get this like vulnerable mobile applications, so you can just check it in GitHub. Okay, so in GitHub you'll be getting the mobile app penetration testing that I've used, right? Some of the vulnerable applications. Okay, so that you'll be getting it over there. Okay. So if you want to make a career in mobile penetration testing, so what are the projects? You just need like some of the things, like you have to be good at Kali Linux actually. Okay. After that, you have to be good at uh, source code reviewing. Okay. So you have to make sure that you are able to chain whatever functionality the application owners they are there, right? So whatever functionality they have built, so you have to make sure that that application you are able to read the source code from the backend. Okay. Parallelly, you are able to do the processes in the applications as well by using certain tools. Okay. So GitHub link. Okay. You are asking for the link for the lab, right? So after this session, the group is there, right? So that have been created. Okay. So in that particular group, I'll be sharing the link. Okay. For the vulnerable lab. Okay. So next is like is important in Android penetration testing. Okay, so what it will do in the sense, whenever there is like some of the reverse engineering things. Okay, so when you try doing reverse engineering attacks over there, so it will help you to understand the codes properly. Okay, or it might be while analyzing the code by I did right just by using JADAX. Okay, so by using JADAX, you'll be able to see the code properly, or you will be able to read the code whatever written. Okay, so like there will be certain logics over there as well. Okay, so yeah, your question was do we provide internship for network penetration testing? Yeah, yes, we will be providing the internship for a network VAPT as well. Okay, so we have specialization, so you can just visit our web app, I mean the application sorry, you can visit our website. Okay, so in that website you can find the specialization that we'll be covering. Okay, so we have network as well as we have SOC also we'll be having. Okay, so there are many specialization. So can we connect app that are using HTTPS connections? Okay, so as I said previously, okay, so this HTTPS connection you can attack. So what you will be doing in a sense, you will be uh, doing the SSL pinning, the method that I showed, right, in the practical part. Okay, so by doing SSL pinning, what you can do, you can uh, you will be able to capture the request whatever the client is been making. Okay, so if you are able to disable only then, okay, so if you cannot disable the SSL pinning, you can just request the client that they can give you an unpinned version. Okay, so if that's the case, okay, so that you can capture the request and test for more vulnerabilities over there. So just give me a sec. Okay, so can you explain? Okay, so what it will do, it is just like a launching icon. Okay, so what it will do, it is just like a launching icon. So it is like not have any more functionality. So that also you can like capture those things as well. Okay. Uh, how do we protect our apps from these attacks? Okay, so you have to implement certain security measures. So there will be mitigation depending on the vulnerability. Mitigation will also differ. So main mitigation that will be suggesting in a sense, you have to put a proper validation. So input validation. So whatever the user input is giving, right? So that have to be proper validated. Make sure that no scripts are allowed for the users. Okay. For the iOS apps which I'm saying, so you can't install it in your Windows machine, because if you want to install it in your Windows machine, you will be needing a emulator over there as well. So you will get an emulator, but it is a paid emulator. Okay. So if you have any old iPhones and stuff, you can just do the jailbreaking over there. After that, you can try testing over there as well. So for the checklist, there are many checklists online that you can find, or you can just prepare on your own. Okay, so just by researching things. So if you just go to GitHub and check for the checklist, you'll be getting all the checklists that you'll be needing. Okay, so I guess all the queries are done. So if you have any more queries, you can ask right now. Just give me a sec. Uh, Perform new privileges. No, you can't perform that over there. Okay. And coming to, do we need Kali Linux? Yes, you will be either, if you can do it in your Windows itself. Okay, so if you are comfortable with Kali Linux, you can do it in Kali Linux as well. Okay. But in some of the tools I prefer you all to use in Kali Linux itself. So how can we avoid? So I guess you are asking about the mitigations, I feel. Okay. So mitigation, as I said previously, it will be varying from vulnerability to vulnerability. Okay. So if it is like a injection based vulnerability, to make sure that all the functionalities have whatever the functionalities are there, right? Like it might be a login panel. Okay. So in that field, proper sanitization has to be implemented on the server end. Okay. So just I missed some questions. Okay. So what all list for security controls we should check for mobile application or web application. So basically you will be checking if there is like a panels like for authentication and authorization stuff. Okay. So you'll be checking for authentication based vulnerability, or you can go for like session management level bugs like session fixation, session hijacking. Okay. Or if they have like parameters, or if they have if you are talking about a web application, they will be having profile sections, right? So in that profile sections you can try put injecting certain payloads and checking over there, and also checking whether whatever data has been stored, right? So whether that data is stored properly in a device, so that as I said previously, if the data is not stored if the data is not encrypted and stored in the application, okay, so then it will be vulnerable over there. Okay. And API security also have to be implemented, like API also have to have certain uh, what to say filters, like only admin can access these kind of APIs. Okay. Or you can go with the functionality level bugs like business logic flaws, it might be. Okay. So it will be differing from mobile application to uh, Android, I mean mobile application to your web application. Okay. So it is like a two different thing. Some of the testing methodologies will be same over there. So how can track still? I couldn't understand the question. Okay. So can we extract the just give me a sec. So can you extract the DX file from the APK? Yes, you can extract that files, okay, by using JADAX or APK tool. You will be able to decompile the stuff over there. Okay. So any other queries you guys are having?
Kuldeep, there is a question in Q&A section also from
Okay,
Chandu
okay.
Nata.
Let me just check. What is the interface name used in display app screen? I didn't get your question. I guess you are talking about the activity, I feel. It was 14 minutes ago. Yeah, I guess you are talking about the activity itself. Okay. So the name will be like you can, if there is a login activity, so the activity name will be like for the it will be for like login activity. Directly it will be written over there itself. Okay. So it will be differing from application to application. Okay. So while doing the source code reviewing only, we'll be able to understand that particular things over there.